Anti-villains, cold-blooded villains, wooden emotions, Our Lady do not enter, accept everything. Cinian has traveled through a world that blends multiple urban novels. And became a crazy villain. Big boos, with countless wealth and top-notch backgrounds, were killed by the plot. We ended up in a miserable fate. Disagree. So a heartless old six with wooden integrity was born. The divine doctor going down the mountain. The city has deep tricks, and I want to go back to the countryside detective police officer. I must catch you. Go Wang, who joined the chat group. I licked my group friends for a long time, thought they were big shots, but surprisingly, they were all fake. The female protagonist with her own strategy system. Is this person with a heart of stone? My mouth is numb from licking, but the strategy value is still 0. Transformed little lowly. Brother Nian, don't come over here. Chapter 1. Am I a villain? Crash value system. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. I stepped on my horse and became the villain. Beside the Nanma table, a handsome young man propped his head with one hand and lightly tapped the table with the other. That's right, but now the plot has just begun and there is plenty of room for operation. The world is feeding horses, and we are all black buttocks. After hearing the system's words, several black lines flashed across Cinian's forehead. Last night, I was in bed with the girls, and when I woke up, I crossed over. Just travel through the city and enjoy writing. Isn't his mother the protagonist? But rather a crazy villain rich second generation who was slapped in the face by the protagonist. Just now, Cinian reviewed the script given to him by the system. Knowing that I am currently in a script called The Proud Little Evil Doctor, and my identity is one of the villains. Opposing the protagonist and becoming a stepping stone on the protagonist's path of pretending. He died tragically. System, do you know the author of this book? Cinian asked lightly. No, not very familiar. Then help me tell him that I curse him for giving birth to a son without a butt. Cinian, who has read the script, feels so frustrated in his heart. My own identity and status are actually quite impressive. In theory, it would be easy to pin down a protagonist who is just a weak person going down the mountain. However, due to some brainless plot twists of the dog author, my antagonist was directly hung and beaten by the protagonist. A typical gourd master saves dolls and delivers them one by one. Not only did he compete with the protagonist for women, but he also liked Jie's strange laughter and had many companies under his command. Among them are large nightclubs, KTVs, bars, luxury hotels, hospitals, and so on, and the industrial chain is distributed in various fields. Almost all the contradictions and conflicts in urban novels are gathered in oneself. As long as the protagonist activates the forced mode, it is basically their own person who will be beaten in the end. Dong dong dong, just as Cinian was pondering the system's functions, the door was knocked. Come on. Cinian didn't even lift his head. The person entering was a man in a suit, wearing a pair of golden glasses, with eyes as calm as water, and looking very gentle. Walking straight to Cinian's side, he bowed slightly and respectfully said. Fourth young master, there was an accident at the hospital. A young man forcibly broke into the emergency room and even hit our doctor. The man glanced at Cinian's face, paused, and then added. This young man and Miss Lin have been very close recently. Cinian looked up at the man in front of him. Like many novels, the big villain always has followers around him. The person in front of me is my follower, Qingqiu. Belonging to the kind of loyalty and loyalty. In the original plot, the character who died later to save himself can also be considered a tragic character. The most prominent feature of the antagonistic group is unity. Cinian nodded and then said calmly. Well, I got it. Just report it to the police. Let's go through the proper procedures. Ah. Call the police. Qingqiu was stunned for a moment, as if hearing a very novel word. Yeah, a few of our doctors were injured, so we can't let him lose money. These doctors should be quite seriously injured, right? How many big question marks floated over Qingqiu's head? Young master, is your focus wrong? Miss Lin is very close to a man. According to her own young master's usual crazy criticism personality, this young man is probably going to peel off his skin even if he doesn't die. Why is he so calm now? And you also care about the doctor. By the way, have the medical facilities in the hospital been damaged? Our equipment is the most advanced and valuable in the world, said Cinian with a hint of playfulness in his voice. Qingqiu was stunned for a moment, his eyes slightly narrowed. That's right, he also damaged a medical device worth tens of thousands. It's worth millions of dollars and seriously injured our doctor. We must report it to the police. That's right, Moci smiled young Qingqiu. After following fourth young master for so long, he didn't realize that he still had such a dark side. After Qingqiu left, Moci smiled young. You truly deserve to be a proud little evil doctor, just crazy. The plot has already unfolded, and the first conflict between myself and this son of luck is now. Just now, Yi Chen, the son of Qi Yun, beat up a doctor from his own hospital. In the original plot, Yi Chen had just come down the mountain and accidentally met the female lead Lin Qingqiu, who had twisted her foot. The female lead is not only beautiful and has a beautiful figure, but also the granddaughter of the Lin family head, one of the four major families in a city. When they first met, Yi Chen was shocked to become a celestial being. When has an old virgin who has been holding back on the mountain for over a decade seen such a beautiful girl? So he used his medical skills to cure the female lead's foot and prepared to establish a closer relationship with Lin Qingqiu. Later, Lin Qingqiu received a phone call, saying that her grandfather had a sudden illness and was about to die. Look, it's all old tricks. This kind of dog-blooded plot, Cinian, has been read more than 100 times in various urban novels. As expected, Yi Chen chose to take action to save the old man of the Lin family, and was then looked down upon by the people of the Lin family. Yi Chen, who was short of breath, forced himself to enter the operating room, and then came to the operating room with a set of amazing acupuncture and moxibustion techniques, which saved the old man of the Lin family. Pretending to be successful shocked everyone. Then he climbed onto the network of the Lin family and embarked on the path of marrying by Fume and crazily opening the harem. And how strange and reasonable does this kind of plot sound in urban literature? The key is to save people, just save them. Why are you still fucking around? I beat up the doctor who was trying to stop him in the hospital. What's going on? Just because it hinders you from pretending to be coerced, you're going to hit someone, right? Thinking of this, Cinian once again cursed the dog author in his heart. Although Yi Chen's method of saving people may be a bit shocking, after all, it really saved the old man of the Lin family, so Yi Chen naturally became a benefactor of the Lin family. Of course, the Lin family will wipe his butt. In the original script, Cinian did not take this matter to heart, only sent his own younger brother to find Yi Chen's trouble. After all, I am the #1 licking dog of the female lead Lin Qingqiu. And then, without any accidents, I sent the experience to the protagonist. After tidying up a wave of little brothers, another wave came, and the Gourd Lord went to deliver them one by one like saving a doll, and they became enemies with the protagonist. But now of course, Cinian is not prepared to do so. He chose to disgust this son of luck. After being idle, he began to study his own system. Let's first introduce your role. Cinian picked up the cup, put it to his mouth, gently blew away the tea leaves in the cup, and then took a small sip. Don't worry about cooking Yi Chen for now. After reporting to the police, he will have a headache for a long time. Ding dong, a light screen appeared, and then a petite girl appeared out of thin air in front of Cinian. The girl has fair skin, smooth like sheep fat, floating in the air. The most eye-catching features are her long silver hair and a pair of furry big ears. Suddenly, I saw the silver-haired beast ear little Loli. Silver-haired little Loli tilted her head and smiled as she looked at Cinian, speaking with a milky voice. This system is called the crash value system. As long as the protagonists experience a mental breakdown, the host can obtain the corresponding crash value, which can be used to those. Cinian touched his chin and began to ponder for a moment, only to discover Hua Dian. Of course, it's impossible to have only one son of luck. The host is in a world that combines multiple novels, and will encounter various protagonists. Chapter 2. A divine doctor who does not seek fame and fortune. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this point. In the A City Police Station. Officer, when can I go back? My time is precious, okay. A young man leaned against a chair in the interrogation room, legs crossed. The gray shirt on his body was wrinkled, and the jeans with several big holes highlighted the protagonist's unique and arrogant temperament. Although he has entered the bureau now, his pressure still does not diminish. Yi Chen's deadpan expression left the police officers speechless. Mr. Yi, you are currently at the police station. Please take your attitude seriously. The young police officer frowned and his voice became slightly cold. Faced with the warning, Yi Chen completely ignored it. Just a curl of the mouth and a contemptuous smile. With superb medical skills, he never needs to look at anyone's face, let alone just a few small police officers. Even the chief of the police station did not take it seriously. He is a carefree little medical immortal who saves people with his left hand and kills people with his right hand. There are also 3 hidden masters, one with unparalleled medical skills, one with unparalleled poison skills, and the other with world-class assassins. And the medical skills of life and death, flesh and bones, are his confidence and the most convenient way for him to make friends with high-ranking officials and nobles. Although I did hit someone by hand, I didn't do anything heavy, at most I would lose some money. Hasn't the Lin family come yet? Yi Chen spoke with a displeased expression on his face. I am the life-saving benefactor of the Lin family leader, but now that I am in the bureau, the Lin family is still struggling. If it weren't for Lin Qingqiu's sake, the head of a small family is not worthy of taking action to save them. When I think of Lin Qingqiu, Yi Chen's eyes showed a hint of fascination. Every frown and smile moved his heart, and he was completely fascinated from the first moment he saw this girl. At this moment, a slightly older middle-aged police officer walked over with a stack of report forms. Mr. Yi, according to the report just received from Mahua Hospital, your actions have constituted a criminal offense. All 4 doctors who were injured by you were diagnosed with first-level minor injuries, and you also damaged a medical device worth 3.2 million yuan. You fart. After hearing the police's words, Yi Chen was stunned for a moment before angrily cursing. How did you talk to our Zhao team? What attitude are you having? Several police officers who were scolded by Yi Chen also felt angry in their hearts. Since this guy came in, he has been using his nostrils to look at people, pulling them like 2 or 500,000. Look at it yourself. Did you beat the doctor up like this in the hospital? Did you still have sex? Captain Zhao threw the report directly in front of Yi Chen, looking indifferent. Yi Chen frowned and picked up the hospital report from the table. 5 missing teeth accompanied by eyebrow bone fracture. Diagnosed as grade 1 minor injury, spinal cord contusion and laceration. Sternal fractures. 6. Impossible. Yi Chen was completely dumbfounded, and of course he knew the person he hit the most. There was no heavy injury at all, how could it be so serious? Impossible, these few people couldn't have been hit by me. You must have made a mistake. Yi Chen felt a bit restless sitting and instinctively smelled a hint of conspiracy. At that time, the situation was critical, and the old man from the Lin family had already stepped into the gates of hell with half of his foot. He wanted to save people, but those doctors fought their lives to stop him. Helpless, he could only make them lose their mobility in a short period of time. But it's absolutely impossible to beat someone up like this. You must have made a mistake. I was just trying to save someone, and I did save the head of the Lin family's life. Even if you save him, you can't cover up the fact that you hurt someone. Yi Chen's mentality is a bit unstable. They stopped me from saving people. If I had been 3 minutes late at the time, that old man would have really died. I was helpless. Who knows if you're not telling the truth? Just now you said these doctors weren't yours, and now you're saying you did it yourself. You're full of lies. A little police officer with a ponytail snorted coldly. Alright, stop making noise. Captain Zhao walked up to Yi Chen. Consider the compensation issue. The doctors you beat up are preparing to sue you, including mental and medical expenses. And you have damaged a very expensive machine. Those who will bear criminal responsibility may go to jail. Captain Zhao's words made Yi Chen a little flustered. Are you joking? Did you just come down the mountain? Are you going to jail? Where are the people of the Lin family? Where is Lin Qingqiu? I need to find them. Although Yi Chen was a bit panicked, he also understood that he must have been tricked by someone. Now we can only see the people of the Lin family first. Mohua Hospital, outside the VIP ward. Several members of the Lin family gathered together. The hospital is going to hold that kid accountable. I feel like there's something fishy going on in this matter. Our Lin family should not be involved in it anymore. Lin Qingqiu is such a slut. This old immortal is finally going to die. Where did she bring another guy to save him? I'm waiting to share the inheritance. Stinky woman, how did you talk? No matter how you say it, that's also my dad. Hee hee. You keep talking about this old thing dying. Okay, stop talking. Think about what to do next, okay? Lin Hua waved his hand impatiently, and what had happened in the past few days was indeed a bit beyond people's expectations. By the way, the hospital still needs to claim compensation from us. That kid surnamed Yi broke into the emergency room and injured a person in the hospital, and even smashed valuable things. I heard he's going to pay 5 or 6 million yuan. Upon hearing this, Lin's daughter-in-law straightened her waist and said, it was that kid who hit us. Why should we compensate? That guy doesn't have money. If he doesn't have money, let him go to jail. By the way, isn't he very close to Lin Qingqiu? Let Lin Qingqiu repay her money. The old man left her a lot of money. It's okay to give her a few million, isn't it? There were constant arguments outside the hospital room. In the ward, a beautiful girl sat in front of the hospital bed, with an elderly man with white hair lying on the bed. Lin Qingqiu propped her forehead with one hand, tied a simple ponytail, and had fair skin, but her eyes were slightly tired. Since her parents passed away, her so-called uncles and aunts have been squeezing her. They don't like themselves, she has always known. It's just because of my grandfather's face, otherwise I would have had a falling out with them long ago. But she never thought that her grandfather had not passed away yet. They started discussing the matter of dividing the family property. If it weren't for encountering a divine doctor, perhaps my grandfather would have really passed away today. This is her last relative in this world. By the way, what's the name of that miracle doctor? Lin Qingqiu frowned slightly. To be honest, her first impression of this miraculous doctor was not particularly good, giving people a very frivolous feeling. Hey, why didn't you forget to ask him for his contact information? She also wanted to be grateful to him. Unexpectedly, this miraculous doctor was still a person who did not seek fame and fortune. After saving him, she went to brush her clothes. As expected, one should not judge by appearance, one has truly encountered a master. Since Yi Chen rescued Lin Jintian, Lin Qingqiu's thoughts have all been focused on her grandfather, and she naturally didn't know that Yi Chen had already been summoned by the police station. I thought I had met an unknown expert. Chapter 3. A Abnormal Beast Ear Lolitan. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Drip. The child of Qi Luck, Yi Chen, has a small mentality collapse, and the host gains 500 points of collapse value. Did it collapse again? Cinian raised his eyebrows, and it seems that the mentality of this lucky son is not very good either. In this short while, I have gained 1,500 points of crash value. It can be seen that Yi Chen, the son of luck, was very anxious after entering the bureau. I know you are in a hurry, but please don't worry for now. Humming a tune, I opened the system panel. Host. Year of Mercy, age. 24 years old, crash value. 1500, system prompt. Currently, you have a beginner gift package that has not been opened. Open the big gift package. The beginner's gift pack is very classic. Drip. The host opens the beginner's gift package and receives rewards. Beast in Clothes and Crown, passive skill, Little Villain, title. The milky sound of Loli rang out in Cinian's ear again. What? Beasts dressed in clothes and hats. What the hell? Beast in Clothes and Crown. Host's appearance +10, charm +10, morality .100, Little Villain. Wearing this title will increase the probability of encountering the protagonist, to a certain extent, and both you and the people around you can ignore the protagonist's aura of mental decline. I can understand the title of this villain, but isn't your passive skill as a beast of clothing a bit excessive? At this point, the system also gave a friendly prompt. Things like moral integrity that the host doesn't need to care about at all, because you don't have them in the first place. Cinian resisted the urge to hit someone and endured his temper. Glancing at the system, the materialized image of the beast-eared Loli was floating in the air, with bare feet, cute round toes, and occasionally wagging her little tail. She looked silly and cute, wanting to be slapped. Although he didn't want to admit it, seeing such a cute cat-ear Loli made Cinian's mood immediately much happier. Your image. Are you a system from Meow Star? The system rolled a white eye for Cinian, _ the external image of the system is determined by the host, which means. The host, you are a perverted Lolitan who likes silver-haired beast ears. I'm not, it's impossible, don't talk nonsense. Cinian directly denied the 3 liens. This terrible topic can come to an end now. Cough. I'll think about how to cook Yi Chen, the son of Qi Luck, first. After all, Yi Chen is the son of luck, so it is definitely impossible to go to prison. I estimate it will only take a few days to be released. A son of such luck will always have his own backhand, and once he comes out, he may find himself in trouble. Although I am not afraid of him and myself coming to Ming, what if Yi Chen wants to deceive himself? Cinian remembers very clearly that Yi Chen has a master who is a world-class assassin, and his combat power is definitely not too weak. And it will also poison. He doesn't want to die inexplicably for the rest of his life. So I immediately searched in the system mall. The dazzling array of various items and skills above dazzles people, but they cannot afford to buy them themselves. After all, he only has a crash value of 1500. Even cheap things are a bit of a thorn in his side. Powerful pill. Miracle is achieved with great force, causing the user's strength to suddenly triple and last for 3 minutes. Negative effects. Bleeding from the 7 orifices and permanent shortening of kunkan by 3 cm after use. Price. 500 crash value. Well, this thing is good, even powerful. Go and send it to Yi Chen quickly. A misfortune card. After using it on the target will definitely experience consecutive bad luck within a day. Price. 500 crash value. Transgender potion. After using it, the target will directly become a female physiologically, lasting for 3 days. However, it is said that people who have used it will unconsciously treat themselves as girls' cats after use. Price. 1000 crash value. Jiao Bao's pill. The user's strength has permanently doubled, but due to the side effects of the medicine as its name, it has repeatedly received negative reviews, with a current negative review rate of 100%, price. 2000 crash value. What are these things? Is there nothing else that can directly and permanently enhance strength without any side effects? Other villains have come up with full force points, and I am still a weak chicken now. Although I have money and power, I cannot withstand those protagonists' tiger heads and tiger brains. What should I do without considering the consequences? Yes, but you can't even afford it, a good reality. Seeing the products in the system mall that often have 5 or 6 digit numbers, Cinian is still somewhat envious. Hey, this is forcing me to continue being the 6th child. Qingqiu's business level is still very strong. I will be back soon. Qingqiu, who entered, glanced at Cinian and a hint of doubt flashed around the corner of her eyes. Has the young master become handsome? After a moment, he came back to his senses. Fourth young master, everything has been dealt with, and all the surveillance cameras at the hospital have been destroyed. Moreover, the Lin family leader is not yet out of danger. If you need it, the Lin family leader's condition can worsen now. Illegal medical practice leading to death. A sentence of 2 to 3 years should not be a big problem. By the way, young master, just now Lin Qingqiu's eldest son Lin Hua expressed to the hospital that he wants to give up treatment. The meaning in Qingqiu's words is already very clear. As long as Lin Qingqiu dies, all the pots can be carried by Yi Chen, this unlucky person. Moreover, the few wolves, tigers, and leopards of the Lin family have long been waiting to divide up their property, hoping that the old Lin family leader will return home soon. The previous small tricks were just to delay time, and once Yi Chen entered the bureau, he could be easily manipulated. The Lin family cannot protect him, and even the vast majority of Lin family members except for Lin Qingqiu hate Yi Chen, the so-called divine doctor. Of course, whether it is framing Yi Chen or dividing the assets of the Lin family, it has nothing to do with him. He was well aware that all the ends and means were ultimately just for the sake of that Lin Qingqiu. The young master has taken a liking to her, that's all. Sleeping slot so poisonous. Cinian's lips twitched slightly. I just wanted Yi Chen to be detained for a few days, but you're actually planning to make him wear the back of his life in prison. However, why do I like such heartless words the more I listen to them? It's a pity that Lin Qingqiu, this poor little female lead, has suffered a lot. As Cinian was about to speak, Qingqiu continued. When I was investigating Lin Qingqiu's background before, I found out that her parents did not die in a car accident. It is suspected that they were killed by her uncle's family. But the information is too limited. The man pushed the frame of the mirror and said seriously. Cinian nodded, familiar with the plot. Of course, he knew about the tragic background of the Heavenly Empress. Lin Qingqiu's father had outstanding abilities, and Mr. Lin had originally planned to pass on the company to him, naturally being resented by others. Although he died in a car accident, he actually died in a family struggle. System, do you have any criminal evidence of Uncle Lin Qingqiu and his gang buying and killing? Of course there are cats selling for 100 crash points, wool comes from sheep, it's only 100 collapse points, buy it. Soon, a small USB drive appeared in the hands of Cinian. Inside are all detailed evidence of Uncle Lin Qingqiu's family hiring murderers. After many years, many pieces of evidence may not even be found by the police. Qingqiu, can you help me print out the information here? Okay, young master, abandon the plot of helping others and respect others' fate. If it weren't for Yi Chen, Lin Qingqiu would have died of illness. Let's be clean and let his condition worsen a bit. I believe those people in the Lin family would choose to give up treatment, right? Cinian's tone was indifferent. Lin Qingqiu could have many ways to die, but he couldn't let him die in his own hands. There is a fundamental difference between directly killing and worsening the condition. What he wants is not only to make Yichen bear the blame, but also not to leave too much leverage on himself. One sentence alone determines Lin Qingqiu's life and death. Okay, Chen Jiu nodded. Chapter 4. I can only blame myself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hurry up, pack up your things, you'll be staying here tonight. A prison guard threw a stack of blankets and toiletries to Yi Chen and pointed to a bed. At this moment, Yi Chen's expression on his face was very gloomy. How could one of his own great doctors be locked up in a detention center? And it's also called Tian Tian Buing and Di Di Buling. I can't even connect with those people from the Lin family. Humph, what are the 4 major families in a city? They're just a group of people who kill chickens to lay eggs and cross rivers to demolish bridges. Yi Chen snorted coldly. Due to hitting someone, I was detained for 15 days. Although he still had a calm expression on his face, his lungs were actually about to explode with anger. At first, when he was locked in, he thought he could explain and just go through the motions before leaving. After all, I have a life-saving kindness towards that old man from the Lin family. Not to mention betrothing Lin Qingqiu to oneself, but at least you should also treat yourself as a guest of honor, right? Half a day has passed now, not to mention the people from the Lin family, not even Lin Qingqiu has come. The most outrageous thing is after the police called the Lin family, they actually said they didn't know each other. This is like pouring a basin of cold water directly on him. Hee. The Lin family. They have eyes but no eyeballs. Fortunately, I have a backup. My 3-turn soul-reviving needle must be injected 3 times to completely cure his illness, otherwise the soul-reviving needle will turn into a soul-piercing needle. I'll wait for you to kneel down and beg me then. Yi Chen was not in a hurry, took the bedding and walked into the cell. Because it was a temporary detention, there were other people in the cell. After seeing Yi Chen enter, everyone turned their gaze to him. In detention centers, there are usually young people who have a hot temper and often engage in fights with others. Even in the detention center, one cannot live peacefully. After seeing the prison guards leave, everyone stood up one by one, with a grim smile on their faces, and walked towards Yi Chen. Prepare to teach new students. Ha! Yi Chen glanced at them and curled his lips. The protagonist's halo activated. In 3 minutes on the narrow floor of the detention center, there were 5 or 6 people lying in all directions. This kind of unscrupulous garbage thug was not at all good. Yi Chen's skills were among the best. Just beat them up so that they don't even know their mother. Waste. Yi Chen snorted coldly. He had already been holding back his anger, but now it was all venting on them. What Yi Chen didn't notice was on a bedsheet in the corner. A thin and weak young man's eyes gleamed as he watched Yi Chen's imposing appearance, and he swallowed his saliva. Okay. So fierce, in Mahua Hospital. What's going on? What happened? Where's my grandfather? Lin Qingqiu, who was originally attending class at a university, rushed over in a hurry when she received a call from the hospital. It is said that his grandfather's condition suddenly worsened, and a critical illness notice was issued again. This made her very anxious. She ran out halfway through class and even lost a shoe on the way to the hospital. At this time, Ward 002 was crowded with many people. Waves of wailing came from the ward. Dad! Why did you just leave? Dad, it's not that we didn't save you. Your illness is really unbearable. The doctor said that even if you survive, you may still suffer. We had to do it. Dad, it's my unfilial son's fault. I slapped myself in the face. Pop 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 pop, this kind of scene happens almost every now and then in hospitals, and the death of a person is a common occurrence in hospitals. The people coming and going in the hospital don't find it strange. The doctors were even more expressionless, although they were not sure why the old man from the Lin family suddenly worsened his condition. they were also powerless to do anything about it. As for other passers-by, they won't take it to heart and may even become a topic of conversation for them after dinner. A wealthy dog tycoon in a city has died, and even with money, they can't buy health these days. Lin Qingqiu stood foolishly at the entrance of the ward. My eyes are gradually losing their highlights, and my mind is in chaos. She didn't understand why her grandfather was still fine yesterday and suddenly passed away. It's too fast for her to accept. I was about to have hope, but why suddenly couldn't I do it again? And just as she was stunned, Qingqiu, you've calculated it. A crying female voice came in. The second daughter-in-law of the Lin family ran over to Lin Qingqiu's side, crying and speaking. The old man left half an hour ago. The eyes of the other members of the Lin family in the room also came over. Everyone was crying one by one with a runny nose and tears, and their eyes were filled with sadness. Especially Lin Hua, the eldest son, cried uncontrollably and looked like a fully filial son. It's all because of that guy named Yi. He can't cure my dad at all. He's just a scammer. He killed my dad. I want him to sit in jail. Lin Hua's teeth trembled as he bit. Lin, the youngest daughter of the Lin family, also cried with anger. He's just a river and lake scammer. Originally, Dad could still have hope. Lin Qingqiu, what are you bringing a river and lake scammer for? My dad is not mean to you, is he? The people of the Lin family seem to have agreed in advance and directly threw all the pots onto Yi Chen. Asking is Yi Chen's fault, a fraud and illegal medical practice. Perhaps it was the result of the old man's resurgence before. This is equivalent to indirectly turning the blame on Lin Qingqiu. Pour a rake upside down. Faced with accusations, Lin Qingqiu did not refute them. I just tilted my head and looked at these familiar yet unfamiliar relatives inside the house. Why didn't you call me directly when my grandfather was seriously ill? Don't tell me you're afraid of delaying my class. I can't believe such nonsense. Lin Qingqiu's voice was very soft, and there was no trace of anger. But her question left Lin Hua and others inside the room speechless for a moment. The doctor on the side spoke at this moment. Miss Lin, about an hour and a half ago, the head of the Lin family's illness suddenly worsened for unknown reasons. We issued a critical illness notice, and the immediate relatives of Lin Hua, Lin Yun, and Lin signed an agreement together to abandon treatment. After hearing the doctor's words, Lin Qingqiu nodded thoughtfully. Oh, so it's like this. Lin Qingqiu didn't say anything more, just turned around and walked out of the ward. Sitting against a corner of the wall at the entrance of the ward, holding his knees with both hands, he remained silent. Blame that so-called Jianghu miracle doctor. It doesn't seem to blame him either. Even without him, my grandfather probably wouldn't be able to survive today. Blame these Lin family members. It seems that can't we either. She is also very aware of her grandfather's condition, and the agreement to give up treatment is nothing more than living a few more hours. So who can be blamed? I can only blame myself. A faint shadow flashed around the corner of the girl's eyes. Chapter 5. Lin Qingqiu, who is about to break down. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. People come and go in the hospital. The crying in the Lin family ward gradually stopped and was replaced by the sound of arguments. The old man left in a hurry and didn't make a will. How should the property be divided? I am the eldest son, and I am also the vice president of the company. After my father leaves, the company should be inherited by me. This way, the company will not be chaotic. Why? I have always been in charge of the project in the North City area. Without me, you, the vice president, would have been fired long ago. Why? Just because I'm your big brother. The eldest son has the right to inherit property. And so many people covet the Lin family, there can't be any trouble now. Lin Hua shouted sternly. Lin Qingqiu had not yet fully cooled down when his sons and daughters began to argue over the inheritance. Several nurses at the nursing station were whispering in a tone full of contempt towards the Lin family. At this point, Lin Qingqiu's head had become numb, and he couldn't even hear any other sounds in his ears. The inheritance has little to do with her anymore. Her last relative also passed away. In the future, she becoming a person again. Now she just wants to wait until these disgusting people leave and see her grandfather for the last time. A rhythmic sound of footsteps sounded. Subsequently, a figure stood in front of Lin Qingqiu. The man's figure was almost enveloping the girl. Lin Qingqiu raised her eyes, but after seeing the person in front of her clearly, there was still no other expression on her face. I should be feeling very embarrassed now, right? Are you here to laugh at me? Cinian touched his chin and carefully examined Lin Qingqiu. It has to be said that Lin Qingqiu was able to become the female lead for a reason. Starting with a minimum appearance score of 90. A goose yellow low-neck sweater paired with a small white skirt, a shoe was lost somewhere, and the white socks just over the ankle perfectly accentuated the girl's foot shape. The pure white socks were stained with a little dirt. Long hair flows down in a simple stream, with a beautiful appearance, and black long hair paired with a small white skirt. A first love beauty who can captivate countless fierce men. However, at this moment, her gaze seemed to lose its highlight, and the corners of her eyes were also red, as if she were a cute loli who had been locked in an underground small black room by a strange millet. Hey, Moci let out a young sigh, he couldn't bear to see a girl cry the most. Although Lin Qingqiu's death is somewhat related to himself, it is not a big deal. He was well aware that even if he didn't let Qingqiu take action, Lin Qingqiu wouldn't be able to live for long. Yi Chen's 3 revolutions resurrection needle had to be injected again within 3 days, otherwise it would turn into a deadly needle. Yi Chen was detained for 15 days, and by then Lin Qingqiu had passed the first 7 days. Looking at the girl who was about to break down, Cinian prepared to speak up and comfort her. Then he slowly squatted in front of Lin Qingqiu. It's normal for everyone to die. Life is limited to a maximum of 36,000 days, with millions of houses in one's home. To sleep, one needs to be 3 feet wide. No matter how well the house is repaired, it is still a temporary residence. That small box is the permanent home. Mr. Lin has enjoyed most of his life and has lived for over 80 years, isn't he at a disadvantage? This situation can be considered joyful and sorrowful. Woo-woo, it is obvious that Cinian's high emotional intelligence is not very comforting. Lin Qingqiu had already tried to hold back from crying, but after hearing this, she immediately burst into tears. Host, you are a real beast. The sound of the system is ringing in my ears. Thank you very much for your praise. Lin Qingqiu's quality is already quite high. If someone else came over, they would have slapped him in the face long ago. Although Lin Qingqiu's death was somewhat related to himself, Cinian did not care. To make Yi Chen, the protagonist, collapse, starting from the female lead is undoubtedly the best choice. Although Yi Chen may face imprisonment now, Cinian does not believe that the son of Tang Tangyun will go to prison. Besides, Yi Chen has entered the bureau, how can he still collect wool? Just like Lin Qingqiu in front of him, he must have been regarded as a forbidden domain by Yi Chen long ago. If he saw Lin Qingqiu leaning against him and shouting, "Mo brother," his breakdown value would definitely skyrocket. Quickly, Lin Hua and others walked out of the ward one by one. While walking, we were arguing. Obviously there was a dispute over the distribution of property. As soon as the group left the ward, they saw Lin Qingqiu in the corner and Cinian beside her. Master Mo. After seeing Cinian, Lin Hua's pupils slightly shrunk, and then his expression became extremely flattering. Run to Cinian's face. Are you? Cinian raised his eyebrows lightly, looking at Lin Hua with a hint of playfulness in his eyes. I'm Lin Hua, Lin Qingqiu's uncle. We've met before. Lin Hua became much more humble in front of Mo Cinian. He was well aware that although the Lin family was one of the 4 major families in a city, they were not even a fart in front of the master in front of them. The most important thing is the origin of Mo's life is mysterious, and he can't even understand his background. Just the tip of the iceberg exposed is enough to suffocate. I don't know how Lin Qingqiu hooked up with Mo Cinian. The other Lin family members, to some extent, also knew that the person in front of them was something they couldn't afford, and they all accompanied their smiling faces. Mo Cinian nodded with a rather cold tone. Lin Hua also had eyes and glanced at Lin Qingqiu, who was crouching on the ground sobbing. Master Mo, you should also know what happened to our Lin family today. Qingqiu may not be in a particularly good mood at home. Please understand that Qingqiu's personality is not like this on weekdays. Qingqiu. Don't be childish. If you can climb up to Master Mo, your grandfather can also be pleased under the 9 springs. Lin Hua's face has also become thick to the point where she despised Lin Qingqiu when dividing the family property and wished to leave her far away. Now she has become a loving family again. Pop. Suddenly there was a crisp sound. The girl who was originally squatting on the ground suddenly stood up and gave Lin Hua a very loud slap. The girl stared fixedly at Lin Hua and the others in front of her, with blood streaks in her crimson pupils. Lin Hua covered his face in shock, his eyes wide open. How dare you? How dare Lin Qingqiu hit herself? Bitch. You're all bitches. The girl cursed loudly and pointed at the people in front of her, completely ignoring them. You gave up on treating Grandpa, you're all murderers. Grandpa just passed away, and you started planning your family fortune. Why don't you go die? Damn it, you scumbags. For a moment, the girl's angry scolding echoed throughout the entire floor of the hospital. Even Mo Cinian was slightly stunned. This girl, it doesn't seem like she's the kind of soft girl she imagined, right? Is it so fierce? Don't you want to know the true cause of your parents' death in Chapter 6? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Rabbits can even bite people when forced to do so. Moreover, Lin Qingqiu's mentality had already collapsed, and she seemed to have some mental problems. The original soft and cute sweet girl now directly transformed into Zhuan Mengxin, almost using all the curse words she had learned throughout her life. But after all, girls are just girls, and their vocabulary reserves are still very scarce. Over and over again, it's just a few words. Slut, jerk, demon, and so on. Mo Cinian shook his head as he looked at Lin Qingqiu's expression. Is the killing power still not enough? If you only have this kind of strength. Going to Zhuan may not even protect my parents. Lin Qingqiu's parents seem to have already gotten married. The 2 Lin daughter-in-law are not fuel-efficient lamps, so they cross their waists and prepare to curse at Lin Qingqiu. However, he was stopped by Lin Hua. Lin Hua covered his face, which had been fanned out with 5 fingerprints, and still had a flattering smile on his face. Master Mo, we will entrust you with the Qingqiu festival at home. From now on, we will be a family. If there is any place in the future, please be more forgiving. Lin Hua's face once again refreshed Mo Cinian's understanding of the 3 words shameless. It's really shameless. Talking about our family's Qingqiu season is actually just to get close to each other. I thought this kind of plot of selling nieces would only appear in the novels of Mary Sue, but unexpectedly, it really caught me off guard. Get out of here, bitch. Why don't you guys die? At this moment, Lin Qingqiu was like a crazy little wild cat, exploding its fur and scratching people with its small claws. Lin Hua also quickly pulled the others away. There are quite a few things going on with them, such as funerals to be held, and the distribution of inheritance and company shares is also a big issue, which inevitably leads to some intrigue. Soon, the hospital corridor fell silent again. Lin Qingqiu's eyes were red, staring fixedly at Mo Cinian in front of him. Then suddenly turned around and ran into the hospital room. Hey, Cinian had no choice but to lift his hand and block his ears with 2 fingers. As expected, the next second I heard the sound of crying. Crying bitterly, as if abandoned by the whole world. Host, you really lack integrity. The system popped out again, but in the next second, Cinian grabbed his little ear and gave him a hard slap. Comfortable, the beastier mother feels soft and soft when she rolls it up, as if she is flipping a stuffed cat. Small, soft, smooth, and without any sense of guilt. Damn meow, the proud and delicate system blushed and disappeared with just 1 click. Of course, except for Cinian, no one else can see the system. Even passers-by can only sigh, there is a super pervert here who is masturbating in the air. Miss Lin, could you please step aside? Mr. Lin's body is about to be pushed into the morgue. Mr. Lin Hua and his team have already started contacting the crematorium. The doctor poked Lin Qingqiu's arm and patiently hinted. The girl raised her head and nodded awkwardly, her eyes almost swollen into buns from crying. Watching as Lin Qingqiu's body was pushed away, Lin Qingqiu wanted to cry but not a single tear can flow out. Death is like a lamp going out, but this damn life has to continue. Cinian sat aside and spoke calmly. I'm his mother standing on the moral high ground and pointing out Lin Qingqiu doesn't want to talk to Cinian. She used to not be very fond of this man, and now she hates him even more. Especially with Cinian's mouth, I wish someone could tear him apart. But his words are true, his life still needs to continue. As for the assets of the Lin family, she naturally had no intention of arguing. She is too tired and just wants to go to school well. Cinian, let me say it to you for the last time. I really have no feelings for you, and I don't want to see you again in the future. Lin Qingqiu spoke expressionlessly. Cinian's attitude towards Lin Qingqiu was not surprising. Originally, he was a super big licking dog. It is said that licking a dog licks a dog until it reaches the end with nothing. It's just a very simple matter to take Lin Qingqiu with his original strength. Why not just use his power to dominate others? But Nima, this big sand sculpture, actually wants to talk about emotions with others. In the end, she was listed as the protagonist of Fate. I ended up with a tragic ending. The key is I have never been on base until I die, not even holding hands. Flying. Sad and urging child, your unfinished wish brother will come to complete it for you, and your unfinished canon brother will come to fight for you. No feeling. Can it be cultivated without feeling? Cinian smiled and spoke up. Lin Qingqiu didn't expect Cinian to be so bad. She even refused him, but he still kept pestering her. Before, I was just afraid that after offending him, I would attack the Lin family and my grandfather. But now that her grandfather has passed away, she is not afraid to offend Cinian. I really hate you, especially hate you. I don't feel anything about you now, and I can't feel anything about you in the future. Oh. You don't believe I can make you feel? Then I'm really a failed man. The corners of Cinian's mouth curved. However, Lin Qingqiu clearly did not understand Cinian's vulgar words. Forever. Far away. No. Can. Sound is decisive. Cinian didn't take it to heart either, he just shifted the topic to another place. By the way, Mr. Lin has already passed away, so I wonder if you have resolved the issue of the Lin family's property. In theory, it should be the first heir to inherit. If there is no special will, then the Lin family's property will be inherited by your uncles and aunts. Although the Lin family's property is not much, it is also quite a lot. What about a company with a market value of 200 to 300 million yuan? I'm a bit envious now. Lin Qingqiu frowned slightly and looked at Cinian with disgust. I'm not interested in family property. But that's Lin Qingqiu's lifelong effort. TSK, I fell into the hands of a few unfilial sons. If I were Lin Qingqiu, 980 pulling out my pipe and wanting to inherit the family property. I can get angry. Lin Qingqiu tried her best to resist her desire to kill. After a moment of silence, that's not my business, I just want to go to school. As you said, death is like a lamp burning out. Whoever loves to have property, whoever wants it, whoever loves to fight, whoever disputes it. When Grandpa was alive, he hoped that I could live for myself in the future. After Lin Qingqiu finished speaking, she picked up her bag and prepared to leave. Although she doesn't know why Cinian said these things to herself, one thing is certain. This guy is holding back bad things in his heart, she doesn't want to say anything more to this guy. However, just as she walked to the door, a faint voice came from behind. Don't you want to know how your parents died? Or rather, the true cause of your parents' death? In an instant, Lin Qingqiu's body suddenly stiffened. Can the female protagonist also generate crash points in Chapter 7? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. TSK Tisk, why aren't you leaving? Cinian sat leisurely on a rattan chair, while Lin Qingqiu stood aside. Don't digress from the topic, what did you mean by what you just said? The girl had a serious expression on her face, staring closely at Cinian. Ouch, relax a bit, come on, sit down and talk slowly. Cinian moved his position and patted the chair with his hands. Lin Qingqiu furrowed her beautiful eyes and looked at Cinian with some disgust. Don't sit down, just say it here. Your attitude makes it difficult for me to handle it, okay? Who should I show it to? Cinian's voice suddenly turned cold. You. Lin Qingqiu was momentarily speechless, unable to speak, and could only keep staring at Cinian. If his gaze could kill, Moci had already died countless times. Damn it. Previously, Lin Qingqiu was just tired of herself and had not yet risen to the level of disgust. Now I guess I hate myself so much that my teeth itch, right? But he doesn't care. Although the math teacher repeatedly demands a complete process, he never listens to the teacher and only cares about the results. I actually think so, right? Sometimes the truth is not that important. Let the past pass, can't people always live in the past, right? Cinian added to his words. The aggressive tactics of Cinian clearly played a role. Lin Qingqiu's heart was very complicated at this moment. She was also very skeptical about her parents' death, and suddenly had a car accident. Both died. There are too many mysteries among them. Although she has also conducted investigations secretly, how could she possibly discover something just because she is a student who has not yet left society? But intuition tells her it's not that simple. Now you can tell. Me, right. After much contemplation, Lin Qingqiu sat beside Cinian. Is it the first time she has been so close to a man since she was so big? The unfamiliar contact gave her a layer of goosebumps on her skin. You see, you're in a hurry. Since I've said I'll tell you everything, then naturally I won't break my promise. Cinian smiled and hugged the slender waist of the girl. You. Lin Qingqiu's body stiffened, and a blush rose on her cheeks. Put your hands down. It's impossible to let go, girl, you're still too young, I'm already very polite if I don't go any further. Alright, I'm getting to the point. After hearing Cinian's words, Lin Qingqiu's ears perked up and her expression became more serious. Do you know? Did your grandfather ever make a will? Will. He once wanted to transfer the company's shares to your father. And then your parents died. Upon hearing these words, Lin Qingqiu's mind suddenly went blank. After a while, he finally came to his senses and said, it was my uncle. It was Lin Hua and his team who killed my parents. It seems that you're not particularly stupid, Cinian smiled calmly. Lin Qingqiu clenched her pink fists tightly, but then stared at the man in front of her with a burning gaze. I don't know anything about these things, and where did you learn from? After hearing this, Cinian burst out laughing and said, What don't I know? If I were willing, I could check exactly when your first period came and what sanitary napkins you used. Is the system joking with you? At this time, Lin Qingqiu naturally wouldn't be stingy with Cinian. Why are you telling me these things? Why? You'll know soon. Without evidence, I cannot believe it's solely based on your one-sided words. Although I also strongly dislike my uncle and his team, I don't want to be deceived and help others with their money. Lin Qingqiu's reaction made Cinian nod. Sure, the intelligence of this heavenly empress is still online, and she can still maintain lychees even at this time. Picking up his phone, he sent a message to Qingqiu. A few minutes later, Qingqiu, dressed in black, walked into the hospital room and upon entering, saw a scene that left him somewhat surprised. How could my young master hug Miss Lin? Does the relationship seem much closer? But he quickly shifted his gaze to another place. Young master, this is the printed information. It's been tough. It's okay. After putting down the documents, Qingqiu turned around and left, even pulling the curtains of the ward before leaving. Take a look for yourself, this is all the information I can find. There is a detailed record of Lin Hua and his gang buying and killing people, and there is also a money transaction on it. Cinian threw the materials in his hand in front of Lin Qingqiu. Lin Qingqiu took over the materials. I started flipping through it, feeling more and more frightened and angry as I looked at it. There are many photos with various transaction and chat records on them, which make people's hearts skip a beat. 2 lives. Is it worth only 1 million? The girl gave a mournful smile, but the anger in her eyes could not be concealed no matter what. Even the expression was slightly distorted. Even without these pieces of evidence and photos, it should be easy to guess your parents' death. Who would be most advantageous if your parents died? Evidence can also be fabricated, and at this moment, Lin Qingqiu's appearance seemed to have already believed these pieces of evidence. That is to say, actually, from the beginning, Lin Qingqiu had doubts about Lin Hua and the others. Cinian didn't mind the hustle and bustle, so he naturally knew that Lin Qingqiu was already on the edge of blackening. Let me guess again. Actually, you should have suspected them in your heart for a long time, right? But you can't find any evidence. You can only let it go, and maybe you're still fantasizing about them being your family, right? Struggling to maintain that little bit of ridiculous family relationship. The man's voice was like the whispers of a demon, constantly pounding into Lin Qingqiu's heart. Cinian, who had reviewed the script in advance, had a clear understanding of the background of Lin Qingqiu, the Heavenly Empress. My background is very strange. I accidentally lost it when I was a child. I stayed in an orphanage for 8 years before being found back by the Lin family. However, I haven't experienced the love of my parents for several years yet. My parents are all gone. She has a strong desire for love and family in her heart. Even though she has a strong aversion to people like Lin Hua, she still wants to work hard to maintain this pitiful family relationship. Stop talking. Lin Qingqiu's emotions had already collapsed. I said, I have to say it. How could it not be said? Because not long ago, he discovered a very interesting thing. Drip. The female protagonist, Lin Qingqiu, has an emotional breakdown, and the host gains 2,000 points of breakdown. That's right. The female lead can also generate crash points. Chapter 8. You don't want your enemies to continue to go unpunished, do you? You are listening at novelfull.audio. That's right. The female lead related to the protagonist can also generate a breakdown value. Originally, Cinian was preparing to conquer the female lead Lin Qingqiu and give Yi Chen a green hat to make him collapse. But now things have become much more fun. The female lead can also generate crash points, which gives him a lot of room for operation. And the female lead seems to be more emotional, causing quite a lot of breakdown values. I'll get 6,000 crash points soon. By comparison, Yi Chen is simply useless. However, watching the beautiful woman shed tears, Cinian actually felt a bit soft-hearted. Raising her hand, she gently wiped away the tears from the corners of Lin Qingqiu's eyes. There's actually one more thing I haven't told you, I'm afraid you'll be sad. Lin Qingqiu raised her face, her eyes having lost their highlights, as if they had been completely spoiled. What's going on? You can tell me. The girl's voice couldn't hear any joy or sorrow. Mr. Lin's body should be quite tough on weekdays, right? Haven't you considered why he suddenly fell ill? Cinian felt that the system's evaluation of him might be correct, as he seemed to lack integrity. There was no need for him to say anything more, and Lin Qingqiu's eyes instantly burst into a fierce expression. Grandpa. Was it also them who caused the death? Grandpa is their biological father. How could they be so ruthless? Yes. They're just a bunch of animals, they can do anything for money, they can do anything cheap. I'm going to kill them. Sometimes brain tonics can be very scary, and Cinian's heart trembled as he watched Lin Qingqiu's completely blackened appearance. Cough, I didn't say anything about this, it was your own brainpower. Why did your grandfather suddenly fall ill? You need to go find Yi Chen. This is the effect of his little miracle doctor aura. If you don't save someone for a day, you will feel uncomfortable all over. Even if you're not sick, it can cause you some difficult and complicated problems. So what are you planning to do? You're not really going to kill them, are you? Cinian's tone was plain and he didn't tease Lin Qingqiu anymore. At this moment, Lin Qingqiu's spirit seems to be on the brink of collapse, and if she is further stimulated, things may develop in an unpredictable direction. For this little leak, he was ultimately merciful. Faced with Cinian's inquiry, Lin Qingqiu did not speak. Sometimes silence is more frightening than shouting. After a while, Lin Qingqiu seemed to understand something and looked up at Cinian with gratitude in his eyes. Brother Mo, thank you for telling me the truth. If it weren't for Brother Mo telling me the truth, I might have been kept in the dark for my whole life. Thank you very much. The ink brother was so soft and sticky that he couldn't help but listen to it. Especially when paired with Lin Qingqiu's pitiful appearance, he wished someone could crush her in his arms. But she broke free from Cinian's arm and stood up. Although I won't kill them, I won't make them feel better either. Lin Qingqiu picked up the stack of documents on the table and prepared to leave, even not wanting a bag. The actions flow smoothly. After catching a glimpse of the girl's small movements, Cinian's mouth curved into a smile. Has the little fox finally revealed its tail? Conform to my things in front of me. Is it polite like this? Then he directly raised his hand and pinched the girl's wrist. Although this girl looks pitiful now, her eyes are swollen from crying and she looks like she has been played with, but she has a lot of ulterior motives. The most helpful thing for her now is this pile of materials, which is enough for Lin Hua and the others to sit through. Previously, Brother Mo had ulterior motives, taking each sip at a time. Cinian's hands were like iron pliers, and the girl couldn't break free at all. The scene was once particularly awkward. Lin Qingqiu is not planning to let go, she is well aware of the value of the information in her hands. To overthrow people like Lin Hua, the information in hand is strong evidence. Master Mo, we can talk about it. Lin Qingqiu took a deep breath and stopped pretending or calling out to Brother Mo. Talking? What are you talking to me about? What capital do you have to talk to me about? As soon as Cinian spoke up, he immediately became an old capitalist and couldn't even control Lin Qingqiu. Lin Qingqiu had originally planned a lot of things to say and was ready to play a romantic card with him. After all, Cinian had been chasing her all along before, so he must have some feelings for himself, but now it seems she seems to have overestimated her charm. I really need these things to bring down Lin Hua, please. The girl's delicate appearance began to sell out miserably. If she were to switch to another man, she would probably surrender immediately, but unfortunately, she met Cinian. Hee. Wouldn't you think that with this little thing in your hand, you could really defeat Lin Hua? Cinian sneered and looked at Lin Qingqiu with sarcasm in his eyes. If nothing unexpected happens, Lin Hua will soon take over the Lin group. What are you playing with him? He's so innocent and adorable. It has to be said that Cinian's words are also quite shocking. Directly shattered Lin Qingqiu's beautiful imagination. Look at you, your socks are all dirty. Cinian saw the girl stop talking and started to move around again. He directly pulled Lin Qingqiu into his arms. Ah! If it were in normal times, if a man dared to treat her like this, she would have kicked her a long time ago, but now Lin Qingqiu is as obedient as a cat. Don't you tie your feet without wearing shoes? Cinian reached out and pulled one of the girl's legs over, taking off the dirty socks and revealing her tender white feet. It has to be said that as the female lead, Lin Qingqiu is top-notch in both leg and foot shape, with a well-designed comic leg. Enough to make those perverted old perverts boil. Why are you taking off my socks? I heard your ankle has twisted, let me help you take a look. Lin Qingqiu dared not speak in anger, and by this time she had already recognized her position. It is definitely impossible to defeat Lin Hua and the others by oneself. Cinian is right. Even if he has evidence to prove that they killed his parents, it may not be useful. The power of the Lin family, who inherited the group, is too great. She can't fight alone. And at this moment, Cinian scratched her soles in a wicked way. The girl had tears in her eyes, but under the dual torment of psychology and physiology, she broke through her defense and bit her pink lips tightly. At this moment, Cinian also leaned in her ear and whispered softly. Qingqiu, you don't want your enemies to continue to go unpunished, do you? Chapter 9. Shoes. Have you all played with it? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Cinian leaned into the girl's ear and whispered softly. There was still a wicked smile at the corner of my mouth. The man's almost threatening tone stunned the girl. You. She is not foolish either, naturally she knows the implied meaning behind Cinian's words. Such close contact, even the strong breathing of men can be heard, and a sense of crisis arises naturally. What do you mean by this? Although she had probably guessed Cinian's thoughts, she still harbored a sense of luck. It's nothing, just the literal meaning. If you want me to help you, you need to show some sincerity. Cinian said with a calm expression, while playing with the slender jade feet of the girl. It has to be said that the female lead is different from others, even if her legs are perfect and flawless, is the key still not smelly. This is very impressive. It's really edible, the kind that can be shown off in the mouth. Perhaps it is a special physique endowed by the dog author. You. At this moment, Lin Qingqiu was almost on the verge of collapse, and do you really want to compromise with Cinian? Originally, her impression of Cinian was just that of a playboy, but now it seems this is a wolf that eats people. I have already set my sights on myself. We can talk. Can you put down my legs first? What else do you want to talk to me about, even though your legs are not even allowed to be touched? Can you give me some time to consider? I'm really feeling uncomfortable now. At this moment, the girl's eyes were red and swollen severely, looking pitiful. Although Cinian wanted to flirt with her again, he still stopped. You can't grab a leak and pull it up. Lin Qingqiu's psychological resilience is already quite strong, and by the time someone else comes over, it is estimated that she has already collapsed. After experiencing heavy blows and being threatened and harassed by handsome men, I guess I have the desire to jump off a building. Sure, I'll give you 3 days to consider. After Cinian finished speaking, he patted the girl's thigh, and Lin Qingqiu stood up from the rattan chair feeling relieved. He also had a shock all over his body. Looking at Cinian with a hint of anxiety in his eyes, this man, it's too scary. Just like a wolf, it will eat itself without even bones left. Let me take you back, Cinian said lightly. No need, I live at school and it's quite close to here. How do you go back to school when one of your shoes has fallen off? I can take a taxi back. Cinian did not give her the right to refuse, so he directly lifted her up from his waist. You. Lin Qingqiu struggled symbolically twice, but soon became a gentle cat. Cinian carried Lin Qingqiu all the way to the front of the car. Along the way, I received a lot of attention from people. Looking at the red Ferrari in front of him, Cinian smiled and shook his head. He recognized the Ferrari 488 at a glance, but personally he didn't particularly like the Ferrari, he preferred the Lamborghini. In his past life, he was also considered a second-generation wealthy man, driving a Lamborghini Villainous and able to buy 10 488 cars. All for the matter of rebirth through books. He is not particularly resistant, it's just that he came from a family with a 10-figure income to a family with a 12-figure income. Equivalent to coming from the edge of Rome to the center of Rome. In fact, with its original value, it is not worth considering this million-dollar model. However, in order to make oneself look like a match for Lin Qingqiu, that's why I drove such a shabby car. Buzz, a strong voice rang out, and Cinian left with Lin Qingqiu. On the way, the girl sitting in the passenger seat remained silent all along, not saying a word, obviously with a heavy heart. Host, you are such a bad guy. Aren't you afraid that she will know the truth in the future? The system jumped out of place again. How did I become a villain? What truth? Isn't what she knows now the truth? Cinian raised his eyebrows and said. The system was so angry that it stomped its feet when it saw Cinian's shameless appearance. Little system, you're actually mistaken. I only did one thing from beginning to end, which was to advance Lin Qingqiu's death by a few days. Without Yi Chen's follow-up treatment, Lin Qingqiu would also die sooner or later. You know, I'm the villain, and it's impossible for him to pretend to succeed. Even if Lin Qingqiu finds out in the future, what would happen? After all, she will only have me in the future. Children like me who lack love. I have 100 ways to make her fall in love with me. Look, she's so good now. Cinian showed a hint of laughter. The system is numb, the host is afraid. Here we are, the school is ahead. Please let me down first. It's not good to be seen by others. Lin Qingqiu urged the start of the year of MOCI. Although she was a daughter of the Lin family before, she is usually low-key and few people know her background. If you are seen getting off a luxury car by others, it will definitely cause unnecessary misunderstandings. Hee. How can you get off the car without shoes? Are you walking back barefoot? That's what makes people laugh. Cinian's voice is gentle and gives a sense of calmness. Within a day, Lin Qingqiu suffered a series of emotional setbacks and lacked a sense of security. After hearing the comforting voice of Cinian at this moment, my heart was in turmoil. I just called my best friend and she came to bring me shoes. The car parked on the roadside. Although Cinian doesn't like this Ferrari 488, this level of sports car is still very eye-catching in the eyes of ordinary people. But it's already evening, so there aren't many people around. This made Lin Qingqiu breathe a sigh of relief. At this moment, Lin Qingqiu's phone rang. Hello. Qiu, where are you? Did I come to the door? Did you see me? Of course got it. The one at the school gate waving wildly while carrying a bag. Women. Momo, don't be too exaggerated, I saw you. Where are you then? Why didn't I see you? Can you see the red sports car on the roadside? Su Momo quickly arrived in front of Ferrari's car. I'll go Autumn. You guys. After seeing Lin Qingqiu get off the sports car, her face was filled with shock. For Cinian, she is still very familiar. After all, this man has been chasing Lin Qingqiu for so long before, and she cannot be unaware of it. But what she didn't expect was, did Lin Qingqiu really get caught? Qiu. You left me behind. I'm so sad. You won't give it to him, will you? Wait. Let me deliver the shoes. Are you playing so wild? In the field. Have your shoes all fallen off? Chapter 10. The Last Stand. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Su Momo showed a very shocked expression. Cover your mouth and look at Lin Qingqiu sitting on the sports car. Momo, don't talk nonsense. There's nothing wrong with it. Something happened at home and I got anxious before running away with my shoes. However, Lin Qingqiu's words clearly lack persuasiveness. Tsk, it seems that our school flower has already been picked by someone. Speaking, Su Momo turned her gaze to Cinian again. It should be said that Cinian's appearance is still very high, with a face like a crown of jade, eyes like a bright star, and a faint smile on his face at all times. His smile is gentle, giving him a sense of the villainous male duo in female novels. School flower. Cinian raised his eyebrows. Indeed, authors of urban cool novels like this enjoy creating these flashy things, where the female lead is either a school flower or a police flower, or a cold and aloof female CEO. But where do you get so many school flowers in real life? He has only seen things like school flowers in the domestic zone. Although Su Momo speaks casually, she is still quite observant. It quickly became apparent that Lin Qingqiu's mood seemed to be not very good. As Lin Qingqiu's best friend, she is also one of the few people who knows about Lin Qingqiu's background. Qiu, put on your shoes and let's go back to the dormitory first. The snack gift package I bought online a few days ago has arrived. Let's show it off today, and that's it. After getting off the car, the girl followed Su Momo as if fleeing. I dare not even look back. Tsk. This female lead is just run. Cinian sat in the driver's seat, with a lewd smile on his lips. In his previous life, Cinian was also considered to have experienced countless battles, such as being a high-cold imperial sister or a legitimate loli. They have all had social interactions. Lin Qingqiu can score 90 points for both his physique and appearance. And this female lead is still a very rare white cough. Of course, Cinian didn't get started, let alone have any perspective eyes. It's all valuable experience. Hey, I don't know how Yi Chen is now. Your little female lead is much more energetic than you. She gave me almost 10,000 points of collapse value in half a day, and you're only 3,000 damn points. Buckle whoosh. Mo Sai Nian roast. However, next second. Drip. The son of Qi Yun, Yi Chen, has developed a sense of collapse, and the host gains 2,000 points of collapse value. What? What is the situation? The mist of Cinian's head. At this moment, Yi Chen's mentality was somewhat shattered. Get out of here. Believe it or not, I'll kill you. Look at me again and dig out your eyes. Yi Chen in the toilet pointed at a thin and weak man and angrily cursed. That's right. It's just a man. After he entered the detention center, he tidied up the group of young and energetic young people obediently, thinking that there was nothing else going on. Result: what really made him uncomfortable was this seemingly very honest guy. Eating by himself, he watched from the side. When he sleeps on his own, he also sneaks over to his side, occasionally even Nima sneaks over to touch him. The most outrageous thing is going to the bathroom on my own. Are these goods all following me? Even if he closed his eyes, he could clearly feel a gaze that made his body furry staring at him. If it's a beautiful woman, forget it, but Nima, this is a man. At first, when he was using the restroom, he saw this guy secretly following him and showed a disdainful expression. Take off your pants, buddy. Have you seen what an elephant looks like? Do you feel inferior or not? Result: when he saw the excitement in the other person's eyes, his heart began to furrow. Until I heard that the other party was charged with forced indecency, the ones who molest are men and more than once, he began to panic. Fight. If hitting someone really works, those young people in the detention center won't be avoiding him like snakes and scorpions. Hitting him may actually make him more excited. Although he is a little miracle doctor who saves people with his left hand and kills people with his right hand, he is not in charge of mental illness. I can't cure perverts. So we can only try to stay away from this pervert as much as possible. Brother. I beg you, can you go out? Don't look at me anymore. I can't pee here. Yi Chen began to soften, and at this moment he remembered the words his master had said to him before he descended the mountain. The people at the foot of the mountain are very complex. He now realizes that this is not just complicated. Is this Nima too abnormal? Yi Chen's softening still had some effect. The thin and weak man limped out and even closed the door before leaving. But Yi Chen could still feel the gaze that made him hair grow. You can still see a pair of peeping eyes through the crack in the door, their eyes pathological and crazy. Ah! Yi Chen had a feeling that he might not be able to sleep tonight. Qiu, I'm really sorry, I don't know what happened at home today. In the dormitory, Su Momo sincerely apologized to Lin Qingqiu. Thinking of her previous playful and smiling face, she felt that her guilt was a bit profound. Isn't her words adding salt to Autumn's wounds? It's okay. Lin Qingqiu tried hard to squeeze out a smile. Su Momo also fell silent. She knew that no one's comfort would work, and the pain of a loved one's passing could only be healed by time. Lin Qingqiu returned to the table, pondered for a moment, and then took out a piece of paper from the drawer. Pick up the pen and start writing and drawing on it. The bank at the corner of Mongyang Street. No, 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 there's also that guy named School Brother on Tencent. There are too many people named School Brother on Tencent, and it's impossible to screen them one by one unless we can get Lin Hua's phone chat records. But this is also impossible. Since it's not an accident. Can I have the police overturn the case? Let them try the case again. There will definitely be some gains. But it's been 3 years now, and even if there is evidence, it has long disappeared. How did Cinian get those things? Lin Qingqiu has clearly not given up on relying on her own strength to defeat Lin Hua. She wants to try again. I'll go to the police station tomorrow to see if we can overturn the case and re-investigate the car accident back then. Since it was hired homicide, there must be some clues. Lin Qingqiu's expression became increasingly firm. Her memory is very good. In the evidence that Cinian showed her, although she only looked at it for a few minutes, she noted down many details, key words, and key things. She's ready to give it a last try.